funny because we've had so many that are wrong.
I know. So many. Hey, how's it going? It says, well, a
I
question. Liberty Dude says a question that's already been answered, and yet he still asks it. I'm guessing that's the should I go to IBC? No, I haven't answered it yet. Actually, there's some questions around it, Liberty Dude. Hello, not from
it's
the
under
UK.
investigation.
Where are you from, Liberty Dude? Obviously, you're from the US, but whereabouts in the US are you? Not gonna
You're doxing him.
dox you, yeah. I like it, UK. How's it going?
Good eye.
Dylan has joined the chat. We're all here. Yeah, it's been one of those weeks. Cheers. I'm joining in on the drinking, so it's definitely been one of those weeks. Steve,
I'm playing
how's it
this
going,
game
bud?
to see how much vodka I can fit in this before it overflows.
Steve, I was actually talking because I was IBC came up and I was looking at doing a few days at IBC and then jumping into Germany. And the first thing I saw was Cologne when I went on there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got some spots around Germany I could probably get free beer at. So, yeah. Currently Utah. No, I wouldn't dox you, brother. I wouldn't do that. That's not cool. But Utah's nice. I've always wanted to go to Utah. I've flown over and it looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, D in the chat.
Liberty there in Utah.
Dylan is in the chat. All right. It's been a week. We have had some incredible storms roll through Ottawa. I don't know how it's been. We've got the El Nino bullshit going on, which is kind of kicking our ass.
Super El Nino, yeah. Big days.
Rick on Mike, howdy back at ya. Yeah, there's been a lot of really unsettled stuff going on here. It's been busy. It's been kind of frantic for a lot of things. Work-wise has been absolutely brutal. Still pissing people off on YouTube. It's been doing the doing the rounds.
The hot topic now really is preamps. I think since it's like everybody's doing. It's like now is the big preamp conversation, right? It's like it's the news wheel, but it's at a macro scale. Like I remember not long ago, it was vinyl, right? It was let's shit on vinyl, right? There's so much content shitting on vinyl. And then now it's preamps. Like, there's no difference in preamps, and so everyone's arguing about it. It's really funny.
See, and I was asking you last week, is there because I kind of want to do some of these things that create conversation. I love doing it. I was like, Dylan, what do you think I should do next? And you're like, vinyl, because it's controversial. And I started getting into it, and I was watching some videos because I do have my own personal opinion on it. But then I realized, and this is actually something that a lot of people don't understand, is if I can't wrap my head around it in a way that I can describe and explain it to an audience, I don't do it, because that's not, it's not very truthful. You don't just go and get AI to write you a script and then blow it off in a video. If you can't, if you can't verbalize what you want to verbalize in a competent way, you're going to get ripped to shreds. And so honestly, I would love to do the vinyl conversation, but there's so many great videos out there of people that have done such a good job with the argument, because I see both sides of that fence. And, there's a difference between running a $300 stylus compared to a $100 stylus compared to a $5,000 stylus. And I don't have any of that to be able to do any testing.
Yeah, do a test between moving magnet and moving coil cartridges. Because that's another, moving coil is a totally different, they'll both drive the son of a bitch and the sound that you get out of it.
And then the preamp, you're running it through, and then there's so much.
Yeah. And you can get really, really careful. Your father-in-law has got it's got the highest tier of all of these pieces.
Yeah, multiple. He got them all working at EMI. So he's got all these things that I could use, but I'm like, for me to actually do this video would be so inconsistent with this channel. And anyways, I thought about it. I'm going to explore a few different ideas, but
I think whenever one of these days when I'm not literally making every decision under the sun on product. I hope to have a channel. I think I would do probably a video on vinyl, because vinyl is interesting. Studying like the way that they encode each side of the groove, right? The left and right, and then how those are picked up like mechanically. Like the mechanism there is very clever. But because people don't think about that a lot. But hey, it's 2 channels, single track. How does that happen? And so there's a whole thing to get into there, and then what that distortion looks like the phase distortion that happens in vinyl. And then, like, as you get further into the record, the distortion increases on one side versus the other, because your angle is more aggressive. I don't know. There's a whole thing. There's a whole thing. I'm not.
There's literally a whole thing. The best view
but
of
I don't know
Utah
that
is
it would be
from
right
space.
for your audience.
No. And I mean, it's also, I think the Liberty Dude says the hubris of one to claim all after examining only 2 designated to be alike. And that's the thing, right? Like there is a lot of hubris on YouTube. And like, even when doing the last video about the preamps, a lot of people were like, oh, this guy's just copying another video he saw. No, I'm chiming in. And you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to have an opinion based on evidence that you have at hand. But
also, you need to acknowledge when that is anecdotal.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Like that's it. There's a lot of people. I a few times today, actually, I've been seeing some shit on social media, and in the comments, somebody be like, well, I knew somebody but did this, and then but it's like, great, cool story. Love it. Yeah. Anecdotal. Anecdotal. That is one example. That does not, a systemic problem make. These conspiracy theorists, that are talking about like whether or not COVID actually happened. We're not going to get into this here, but yeah.
Best way to trail that off, by the way.
Yeah. I'll just leave that there. The smart people know what I'm saying. The dumb people, fuck off.
Beresford Productions, greetings from England, somehow still in the World Cup. Same here, samesies. Canada, still in it.
Samesies. Yeah, barely.
If I was a betting man about a month ago, I would have called England still in the World Cup well before I would have called Canada still in the World Cup.
You fucking traitorous Nazi, you.
Okay, so speaking of, I'm not exactly a renowned force of knowledge when it comes to football or soccer or anything like that. But I do know Canada's track record at this stuff is, oh, wow, we got into the World Cup. Holy shit, that's amazing. So
that's fair. Yeah.
Outsider
where do you play fucking soccer when there's like ice on the ground 8 months out of the year?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Man, I hope Dylan's mug is not full of vodka. He won't make it through an hour. I'm pretty sure.
We're doing a little splash up. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just happen to have some A&W mugs in the freezer, and it's warm as shit. It is 32 degrees in here.
Yeah.
So,
we both kind of had the week where we're both going to touch base with a little bit of beer or alcohol. Dylan's probably he's had a few good ones during live streams. So, I don't know if this one will match some of his rough weeks that he's had. So,
I don't know, man. It's always busy, but it's just there's just some balance issues right now. Trying to manage, but that's what happens, right? That's what it's lonely at the top and all that. But yeah, here we are. I'm exhausted, and also we had it like a how many hour power outage? Like almost a 12-hour power outage.
Oh, were you out for 12 hours? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, wow. Well, not 12. We went out at like 4:00 and we came back at 2:30. So
today,
like 10 hours. No, on Canada Day, right?
On Canada Day.
Those are, we had like. Did you see the videos? There were like OC Transpo buses with like 6 inches of water just sloshing around. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, we had
we're real high up. But yeah, and there were 30, like I remember when because they have an outage map where they'll plot out like online, like what areas and there's a crew on it, whatever, right? There were 37 power outages, like different zones of power outages when we went on there. And because it was Canada Day, I told Keisha, I said a bunch of people probably weren't working, like frontline people were probably working, but if they needed any logistics or anything to get pieces moving and shit, like those people, it's a stat, man. So a
Yeah.
lot of it didn't, a lot of the work, they set the time for it to come back was 11:30, and I told her, I said, I bet the first proper night crew is probably starting at like 11.
Yep.
And then so I said it's gonna get put, and sure enough, it kept getting pushed back, but it was hot. No air movement, humid as hell.
Yeah.
32. Oh man, I was a bear. I was an
That's when
absolute
you
bear.
go to your parents' house, dude.
Yeah, but I got to go down 24 flights of stairs in the dark to do that.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Liberty Dude, the amazing actuality has to do more with the reality of a great preamp in the 70s has reached the masses via the digital revolution and home creator focused markets. Yeah, I mean, true. It's
Well, this is where
we
shit like Slate Digital, right? I'll throw a name out there. Like Slate Digital, they do their thing where they're like, hey, yeah, we can model all this stuff and it's real good, and you can model more of them with ours than you can with Universal Audios. I remember I saw one video and they fully said that, like Slate, the guy, I forget, Steven Slate, I think is his name. He fully said that. I was like, yeah, with UAD you can only have this many. With ours you can have more than that. And I'm like, wait, just right on the nose. Just go right in there, man. Just have right at her. And I can't speak to the quality. I've never used it. I know people that use Slate Digital stuff. It works real well. But the cost comparison, right? Like even the UAD stuff. Like, yes, okay, you get a UAD card. You can get a Duo for, I don't know, $200-300 for probably $500 now with the price of memory. Yep. And with that, you can run a lot of really meticulously modeled shit. Like really good, like true to the hardware, or as close as you're going to get to true to the hardware, like lexicon emulations. And like there's a Fairchild emulation in there that I know guys that like drool over that. They're like, if you ever had anything even close to a proper Fairchild, 670, 680, this is the way, this is the machine. And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know that you need to have the physical hardware, but I think having something to model its character in some way, shape, or form. There's tons of stuff. Like, Aiden, I sent you that track earlier today. You were digging that, eh?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like that, obviously there's a lot of dynamics in that, but it also had a lot of character. And so that character involves a lot of playing around with knobs to make something hit right. And some of that, you just run it through shit. Like there's a processor called a compander. You ever heard of this, Aiden, a compander?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
It is so basically you compress a signal and then you expand it by the same amount. So you compress it and then you uncompress it. And then there's like a relationship there in like your kind of attack and release times that will kind of dynamically accentuate and like de-accentuate certain frequencies and like give it a bit of a frequency profile, but something that's like time dependent or amplitude dependent. So I don't know, but it's weird to describe what it does, but it sounds good. It's something that you just throw on. There's a version of it Waves has called the Abbey Road Saturator. And you just throw it on and immediately it just brightens everything up. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you can blend it. There's a little blend knob so you can blend in some dry. Usually I blend it because sometimes I find it bright a little too much. And then it's got like a saturation circuit that you can also kind of blend. But yeah, when we're using things like preamps shape the sound in the sense that they dictate kind of the waveform, how it's going to react to what comes into it from the microphone. Like they literally shape the waveform. And that's hard to measure.
Without starting this whole conversation again this week, I will ask you this. When is that song coming out?
Oh, I'm thinking maybe Halloween.
Okay, so October? Okay. Yeah. Cool, guys. You're gonna want to stay tuned.
I don't know. It never was supposed to be, but like you've heard it. And like the more I listen, I'm like, yeah, this would lend itself to that aesthetic. Yeah.
Oh, it lends itself to a lot of aesthetics. Like it's a fantastic freaking song.
It's fun.
It's a little grindy. It's a little bluesy.
But also, as you pointed out in your email, it's intimate. It's like it goes from like wall of sound to like Johnny Cash. And like, that whole spectrum in between, it's crazy. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
So Steve says, I used to love my Sonic Maximizer when I was DJing live events. Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, okay. So, man, I can't even fucking talk about it.
No, don't. No. I do have a question. I'll interrupt you then so you don't foot and mouth.
Oh man,
Um,
there's something cool coming. I'm just gonna say that.
This is why alcohol's a bad idea on some lives. So I do have questions because we do have a decent UK audience. And this
Yeah.
is why I asked the question
All right.
about IBC 2026 is I was talking to the wife today and I got basically the invite to IBC 2026. The organizers reach out to quote unquote influencers and they're like, here's your free pass.
Nice.
And one of the things that I was like, okay, well, I'm going to Amsterdam, I guess. And I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam. That was the thing. And then I started looking into it. I actually booked a hotel in Amsterdam, which I'm probably going to change because my wife was telling me, she's like, well, you're not going to be 5 days at the conference. You should like travel around Europe. Because I always wanted to go back to Germany, or go to Germany. When I say go back, it's ancestral roots.
Right.
So I always wanted to go to Germany, and Berlin is probably going to be the place to go. But then I started looking at IBC, and I'm like, it's not like NAB in a sense where it doesn't have as much of the creator economy stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong. And I want some of anybody, Steve. We've got. Wow, I just lost all the names. I Like It UK's in the crowd. I don't know if you've ever been there. Beresford Productions. I can imagine some of y'all have at least know somebody that's been to IBC, or all of the content I see seems to focus around cameras, lenses, stuff like that. I don't see any content about content creation. I do see some Elgato stuff, and usually Elgato, whenever there's a massive release, you will see it at IBC first. And that happened a couple of years ago with the original prompter. It was like a year and a half before the Elgato prompter came out. It was seen at IBC. And so this is like the spot where stuff does surface, but I just need to know am I going to get content out of it if I go all the way to Amsterdam? Because I don't want to show up and it's just a bunch of camera stuff. So that's what part of this live stream's about is I want to be able to, like, if I'm able to go to Amsterdam to IBC, I want to be able to sell ad space for it so I can kind of pay my way to Amsterdam. So the videos can be brought to you by so-and-so. Just one, it makes it plausible for it to happen within my pocketbook. Two, it plausibly makes it happen for Dylan within my pocketbook. But if I can't get a minimum 4 videos out of IBC, I can't sell it. And that's where I'm kind of stuck. And it could just be that there's not any content creators that are actually at IBC going over all the audio stuff. So Dylan kind of thinks the same as I do, thinks that there's not going to be enough there to actually justify the flights and the hotels. So I await.
Yeah, again, thinking about it, like, and again, people are probably sitting there going, "Not like, well, just excuse me." There's a lot of things that I would go to see there, and it's like, yeah, but like for Aiden's channel specifically, like Aiden, you sum up the top 5 things that your channel covers. Podcasting, obviously, streaming. There's streaming in there. Voiceover. There's a little bit of that in there. There's a little bit of music, and then I don't know, just general content creation, I guess. Would you say those are kind of your 5 if you had to pick 5?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like that stuff specifically, is IBC the hotspot for any of those things? I don't know, right? I've never been there. I see lots of content from it, but
I would say I dip closer. Like when you talk about podcasting and stuff, it's very much into broadcasting as well. So yeah, like, that's a good idea. Okay, let me get to that. I Like It UK just had a great idea. Liberty Dude said the real message that made the most and much needed impact is that there are many things that determine the final result of audio production, and one doesn't need the most expensive, iconic hardware. Holy shit. That is like nail on the head, summing up the importance of recording. And one of the things that I try to battle against with this channel, and I work towards pissing people off because I actually enjoy that aspect of it, because I do not like a lot of the arrogance that comes with the audio industry and people that work in the audio industry. I've met some incredible producers, some incredibly talented producers, and the ones that I've met have been very down to earth and not absolute douchebags. But I've also met a couple of them that, you know, they like to take their knowledge and weaponize it. And I feel like it's the same energy as, oh my God, you didn't hear Nirvana's first album, you're not a real fan. It's the same energy of that, oh, well, I was a fan of this band before you were, so you don't have any right to wear the shirt. Can you name 3 songs? It's the same bullshit energy that I hate.
Yeah, well, this is okay. This is a great, you know, full circle to preamp conversation. You know, sorry to cut you off, but like the full circle here is there's 2 sort of messages here, and they get conflated a lot. You know, saying you don't have to buy this, which is basically what a lot of these preamp videos. That is the conclusion: is you don't have to buy this. That's the bottom line. If you don't have to watch any of those videos, you don't have to buy this. You don't have to buy a Neve. You don't have to buy an API. You don't have to buy, you know, a UA. You know what? You don't have to buy any of this shit. But saying that they do nothing at all is disingenuous to the product, to the technology.
So it's not that they don't do anything at all. And yes, we're okay. Yeah. We'll just get into it because they do something, but it's not something that you like absolutely have to have. But you can also take that a little bit further. It's not something that is going to define your music. And I know that
music is an aggregate of all of the little things that you do.
Exactly. So when you're looking at, and this is why I put out the White Album, and people got pissed about that. Oh my God, are you saying that the White Album wasn't like, holy shit, how could you say that? Because the White Album, when you listen to it, isn't the studio. The White Album is the Beatles. It's the songwriting, and then you look at the production quality.
It's all of it, right? There is a texture, right? There is a certain, I would qualify it. You love this word in the context of audio, but there's a texture that studios can provide, right? Sound City, right? Great example. There's tons of records, Rumors, Fleetwood Mac, right? There's records that were cut in those rooms. That's captured in those spaces. That is those spaces captured in time in that moment or in those moments. And so, but in terms of the actual, like, to us perceptively, what makes the biggest difference? It's the music. It's the thing that is being captured, not necessarily the space or the shit that is being captured through. That is a lens, right? In the same way, right? Like a camera, right? Camera is a fantastic analogy. If your composition is garbage, it really doesn't fucking matter what lens you use. it's gonna look like shit. If your like camera is tilted and not in a Dutch tilt kind of way, but in a I'm random and drunk kind of way, and it's out of focus because you don't know how to use the camera, it doesn't matter that you used, you know, a Nikon like whatever, like $3,000 telephoto. Right.
Yeah. Why does your porn have a Dutch tilt? Come on.
Like a 75% Dutch tilt. But it's this stuff doesn't make enough of a difference for people that don't have a lot of, like, again, I look at as a business, right? As a business, when you're reinvesting in your business, because that's what this kind of shit is, buying a preamp, buying anything. You want to buy something, you want to hit the lowest kind of common denominator, right? You want to find the thing that is hindering you the most and invest in that, right? In terms of what is, so if that is, you are a shitty writer, invest in your writing. No, for real though, take a writing course. Yeah. Take a writing course. A preamp is not going to make you a better writer. Yeah. Or a voiceover person, you know, a Neve is not going to make you sound like, I don't know what, David Tyler. What's it like? What is a household voiceover name? Nancy Cartwright. Buying a Neve is not going to make you a Nancy Cartwright. So, you know, when you get some success doing what you're doing, and you get some money, or you set aside a budget to spend on the thing that you want to do, spend the thing on the thing that is, again, the biggest sort of weakness in your operation right now. That might be your DAW. Maybe you're still using Audacity and it's getting in the way because Audacity fucking sucks. And so maybe you need to buy Reaper. Right, you need to spend 20, whatever, to 29. I don't know what the price is now, but it used to be really cheap. $60, yeah, $60 on Reaper, right? Even that, like, is getting Pro Tools going to give you no, it's not going to give you an amazing sound. It gives you a lot of flexibility to get some really cool shit. Like, there's stuff that I did that I sent to Aiden that I would not as easily be able to do in Reaper, probably because I'm not as familiar with it. As the primary reason, it's probably capable of it, but yeah, I don't know. You have to prioritize what you invest in. And yes, it is a great, like, I've got a Neve, I've got a Neumann, right? I've got these things that are like, yes, you strive to get these things, because I had, the success and continue to have the success to get these things, right? And I want them. I want the texture. I've used these tools in practice. And like the Neve, that thing that I sent you, Aiden, I was using the NTR through the Neve 1073. And that texture on that vocal and that texture on that guitar would not have been the same. It would not have been. I guarantee it would not have been the same.
All right. We're going to put this conversation from last week to bed.
To bed. Yeah.
And we will revisit
that.
There you go. Liberty Dude says, if the only reason to go to Amsterdam is IBC, it won't pay for itself. Liberty Dude, you have no idea. And I actually pulled up while Dylan was talking my channel content. I love how
fantastically decisive that is. It's just like, no.
Well, it's true, because if I brought up my channel content, you guys would see how much money I lose on going to Vegas for NAB. I get good traction. I get conversations with retailers, and I can build relationships, but I don't make money going to Vegas, and I actually lose money. And I was looking through, I don't think there's any reason I can't share this. So let me share screen. Oh, I cancel. Allow. Go away. So let's bring this down. You're listening to music on stream? Or are you playing music on stream?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's funny. I wasn't sure if StreamYard's noise cancellation was going to get that or not. Teams noise cancellation is freaking Nazi. Okay. I had like a guitar up to the tip of the shotgun mic on, like, I had it basically distorting to the preamp, and it was like, yeah, I'm getting nothing. I'm like, Jesus, it is looking for voice and nothing else. So obviously.
Okay, so we have here, you can see the channel content, and you can see the money I've made on videos off to the right here.
Look at you, Captain Transparency of the Transparency Club.
Oh, I don't care. Like, this stuff is nothing. This is why, like, anytime anybody gives you crap for if anybody gives you crap for having a sponsorship, look at these numbers. This is one of the better performing videos, almost 10,000 views. I've made $26 off that. And that's long enough. Well, no, that's only one ad placement. Here's Elgato versus Rode 5,000. I made $24. That's because that's a longer video and I've got more than one ad space in it. So yeah, 10,000 views, $26. You cannot, under any circumstances, make money on that when you travel. So like that's part of, like, you're right, Liberty Dude. There's not going to be a reason to go to Amsterdam if I'm looking to make money, unless I have sponsorship on it, which is why, like, brought to you by so-and-so, like Riverside or something like that, would be Riverside.
They have fantastic bananas.
Yeah, they do actually have good bananas.
Man, that was genius. I'm never gonna forget that. That's locked into my long-term memory for good now. Yeah, good job.
I like you. Kay says, why not try to arrange a visit with Sennheiser in Ireland at the same time? This is something I didn't think of.
I am kind of floored. I did not know that they were there. I was in Ireland in February. I wish I had. Well, they wouldn't have.
I thought they would have been in Germany. Like they're Neumann.
Yeah, Sennheiser. Yeah, Sennheiser. I'm sure their head office must be there, but they must have an office in Ireland.
Yeah, so that actually might be a good approach. Like I said, 4 videos is kind of what I would need if I go for. I was planning a 6-day trip. If I can get 4 videos out of the whole thing, I can justify the trip financially because what I do write it off, but also these kinds of videos will get like I'll get 10,000 views off of all these videos, and I can sell that, and that's something
Right.
that I can justify. So. That's actually a decent idea. Now, comes from Matt X. How do I make my SM7B sound good? I have a Wave XLR and tried EQ, but it sounds like poop. Are you able to upload an EQ to Wavelink store for us to download? Matt, I have some bad news for you. The IQ I set up isn't going to sound great on your voice. You can do a basic EQ, and I actually cover that in one of my videos for the SM7B. How to make an SM7B sound good. I think I've got a video where you can just copy all of the stuff that I put in there, and you're going to hear what you hear. But if you have a wildly different voice from mine, it might not sound good going through an SM7B because you have to EQ to your voice. So there are things that can make you sound good. For example, I don't have a lick of EQ on my voice right now, but you know what I do have? I've got $1,000. Well, it's actually only $800. Angry Audio Chameleon Smooth preamp that this is going through, and then it's going into my Roadcaster video. So there are ways and things you can use for that, and SM7B profiles you can find online that you can probably like just mimic in the EQ settings. And all you need are 3 nodes on an EQ. You don't need more than that to make an SM7B sound relatively decent. But yeah, like for me to go, it would be disingenuous for me to go, here's your EQ, and that's going to make you sound great. Because I could make, if I had that ability, I'd be a millionaire right now.
There's a thing I used to say when, I used to have sometimes in broadcast, I used to have people like, well, just take the EQ curve you put on that person's voice and put it on there. It's easy. You don't have to do anything. and I said to the person voicing, I looked at them square in the face. I said, have you met somebody with your face? She's like, what? I'm like, have you met somebody with your face? Have you seen somebody before in the world with your face? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, then you will never find somebody that I can use your EQ curve on. Okay. The resonances, and again, that's a glorious oversimplification, but the shock, it gets the point across. That's, it's a saying, right? People are going, well, it's not just the face. Yes, I know that. Okay. Working with engineers, man, yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's fun. Specificity is king. But the point being is everybody's voice is different. The resonance is within your voice, right? Because what is your voice? Your voice is a fundamental pitch and a collection of harmonics, all at very different levels that make up the sound, the timbre of your voice. And so when we're EQing to balance that timbre. We're balancing it for a variety of things. We're balancing it for a playback environment. We're balancing it to compensate for the microphone it was recorded on. Obviously, sometimes there's a lot of that going on. Like Aiden, you heard my voice in that track that I sent you that we keep teasing people about. That probably just kind of sounded relatively effortless for the most part, as far as like, oh yeah, that's just a natural sound. That channel is full of fucking plugins. There are all no, I don't actually. I've got it behind me. How many is that? I am blind as a bat. That is it's not crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plugins. 7 plugins. All right. So that that's medium high on the old stovetop scale.
One does not run a Rode NTR out of the box. You need a few plugins for an NTR.
I don't know, man. So the thing is, right, you've got to pull it up a little bit because, like, I don't know, the way I look at that track, and this is so boring for people because they don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But to sum it up, like, you're trying to carve out a place, right? The way I think about EQ, and I'm going to do an EQ course, and this is going to be in it. So look for another free little tidbit. How many times have I done this, Aiden, where I'm like, here's a free bit from the course?
Yeah.
But when you are using an EQ, you are increasing the volume or decreasing the volume of that thing. You're just doing it at a particular frequency, right?
Yep.
So I told Aiden there's a little thing that you should do, which is to put all of the faders at the same level, right? For a very simple song with like 5 elements or something, and then mix the song only with EQs. So you want EQs with a lot of bands. So the FabFilter Pro Q is great because you can have virtually infinite number of bands, but you can only use EQ. You can't increase broadband gain anywhere. And so what you end up having to do to blend stuff together is carve out little spaces for each thing with where you dip out frequencies for some elements and boost those frequencies for other elements. And like that's often how I think about EQing. So in this track that Aiden and I are talking about, I want the vocals to occupy a certain space in the high frequencies to balance the track out because it's a very dark track. It's very dark tone-wise, and you look at the frequency response without the vocal, and it's atrocious. It's like, man, yeah, most of this is below like 9K, and so I need the vocal to occupy a little bit more space consistently in the top end, but I can't have it be shrill. And so, how the fuck do you do that? With 7 plugins. That's how you do that. But like, so in there, you're doing stuff like somebody brought up like a maximizer. So something like an aural exciter is another great way to introduce extra high frequency content without making it more shrill. You've got to tune it right. Foreshadowing, yes. But yeah, there's a lot of things with EQing, and I think it's worthwhile. Like Aiden, I think you could frame an EQ video for this channel that I think could be like I might sketch something up and send it to you just as an idea of like an angle that you can hit. Because again, I don't like I'm gonna hit it with a stupid amount of depth because that will be that's the brand of the core, and it'll be a course. It'll be something paid, and so I want to give a stupid amount of depth for something paid. Sales pitch, but like for a video for your channel, I think there's a way that you could distill the bones of it philosophically into something that people could actually look at a flat EQ and start to play with it with that philosophy in mind, right?
Yeah. All right. Liberty Dude says that's the idea. What other things can a trip to Amsterdam give you access to? I'm sure there's plenty. I'll figure something out. Steve says never been to IBC. I don't even hear much from it. And you know what? I was turned on to IBC by Peter from Road. Peter was like, NAB's cool. You should do IBC.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I remember having that conversation.
And like, okay, cool. Like, give me more than that, Yeah, I'm sure as for a billionaire, it's easy to just run over to IBC. For me, it takes a little bit of effort. But yeah, like, I've never considered it. This is the first year. Maybe I just take a hit and plan to do content, but take a vacation if I don't get any. That is possible. We shall see.
Yeah. Yeah. See, hey, you're there. Might as well, when in Rome.
The original 70s Dutch tilt is much better than the modern low budget Dutch tilt. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also because they had so much less to work with in the 70s and like the
this is it
back then.
Like that whole analog thing, right? We talked about it before on the channel. The whole analog flow, it applies to film too, and that's what sparked me. Is talk about like 70s film production, and thinking about the shit that they did to get stuff done. That forces you to take sort of creative pathways that you otherwise wouldn't take in the digital world. Like we talk about analog. Why do people still use analog? It's like because you feel where it should go. Right. Yeah. You're not looking at a number on a screen changing. Like even I found I'm working on a product right now that's got some digital capability to it. And it shows you, gain values as numbers. And it kind of screws me up sometimes because that factors into my psychology, right? I'm looking instead of listening. And so I find a lot of times when I'm using digital things, whether it's a DAW, whether it's, a mixer, like whatever, it ends up being, I close my eyes actually a lot. And I've noticed this recently when I'm using DAWs and stuff, because I'm like, I don't want visual input. I want to make sound purely on the sound. And that's hard to do. It's hard to do when you're staring at meters.
Oh, dude, I edit with my eyes closed. Like when I'm editing podcasts,
you gotta listen because when you edit and you put a crossfade, you see where that crossfade starts. So your brain goes, yeah, I hear it. No, you see it, and you gotta close your eyes. You gotta listen. I will turn around.
I'll back up 30 seconds just so I
Yep.
don't know where it's going to come in. And
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
sit back,
Literally.
eyes
Context.
closed. I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Especially
Yeah.
like pacing and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Like that's the stuff that when you're watching that needle go across, the pacing feels right. You close your eyes and you're like, oh shit, that was way too fast. And so
Yeah,
you go
because
back in.
watching that cursor go by
Yeah.
sets the pulse in your brain, and so to that pulse, but is that the right pulse?
Yeah.
Right. That's what it doesn't tell you, and so 100%. And so analog. Ironically, the thing that makes it such a fucking frustrating pain in the ass. I'm working with some analog gear lately, testing, and I remember at one point I had to figure out like, okay, how do I figure out like there's a digital thing that's clipping before an analog thing. How do I figure out how many dB is different? And so I'm like trying to like knobs. I'm turning knobs to try to like estimate. Okay, well that's about. And then it was like, fuck, this is impossible. Without external equipment, this is impossible. Right? Like if I have an AP or some kind of a metering tool. What am I drawing a blank on? I'm not a gyroscope. I want to say gyroscope. But no.
Whatever's in your drink.
Oscilloscope. I kept wanting to say gyroscope. I don't know what the hell is going on.
You have an oscilloscope.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, what do I call you?
Man, that oscilloscope is the studio's, and it's awesome. And one day we're going to be able to use it in a video. And for what I don't know,
I'm using it right. It's actually on right now, which is why this room is so goddamn hot.
Andrew said worse. Most of that revenue is me with your episode playlist running. I appreciate that. That's actually very helpful. And you know what? It's interesting right now. YouTube's going through, if anybody here has ever started a YouTube channel, it's very ebb and flow. So you will literally see times where your channel just feels like it blows up, where you're getting views from everything. Everything's really pumping along. And then all of a sudden, holy shit, does it ebb. And everything pulls back and you feel like you're a failure and you're not getting any views. And I'm at that point, and I've been doing this long enough to go, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Just keep putting content out and it'll be fine. And sometimes I'll put an extra video out during the week just so I can get some, to keep those numbers moving and keep people coming back to watch. But yeah, it's always nice to hear people loving or watching the content passionately, because at least it makes you feel like you're doing something right. So hopefully you're finding stuff that makes you go, haha, that's funny. Because I watch some of my older stuff and I'm like, man, I was funnier back then. Then I realized, no, I'm funny all the time.
Yeah, you got really fucking lame, I got to tell you.
Did I?
No.
When did I get lame? No, okay,
no.
All right.
I'm just fucking with you.
No, it's okay. I'll take feedback. You can tell everyone walking around with my face, they have a bag over it. Yeah, Matt wants to know what happened to Dylan's RE27.
This one?
Yeah.
This one?
Did you just have it on the floor in front of you?
No, I saw that comment coming up, and so I just like snapped back there and grabbed it. Yeah. No, yeah, it's still here. It's fine. It's actually, is it fine? I haven't used it in a hot minute.
Oh.
Honestly, I've got an MKH over there, and then I got a Rode NT5 over here, and so I just haven't really had a ton of need for this for the last little bit. If I was doing more recording, I'd be interested to, again, I'm always fascinated using microphones for stuff that they're not for inherently, right? That they weren't built for. That's where you get some interesting kind of characteristic results. Like I remember, Aiden, when we were in college, we did this show called The Scene. You remember that show? Where we had like local musicians, and it's interesting trying to get a good sound, miking a bunch of musicians through a radio board in a radio studio, because that's not inherently a space that is optimized for musical recording.
No.
And so, but it's interesting, right? You get interesting, and there was some shit that I got off the Logger way back when. I still got those recordings, and I was like, man, you know what? That's got kind of a Rick Rubin thing. That's not that bad, And so again, like sometimes using stuff in situations where like, all right, well, again, like a ribbon mic on a 12 string, Fucking prime example. A ribbon mic and a 12 string. Why do people use 12 strings? Well, they use them because they have lots of high end. What are ribbon mics traditionally terrible at reproducing? High end. But what you end up getting is I find in like more retro-y sounding tracks, 12 strings are a little shrill. There's a lot of high end there. And a traditional like a U87 or especially like a pencil mic.
Oh God,
Oof,
yeah.
pointy. And so on a 12 string though, oh, it's glue. It glues those higher strings together in just such a nice kind of warm way that I don't even need to roll off the highs really. Like for once, right? There's so many times in that where I'm rolling off the highs on a 12 string guitar because anytime you record it, of course, you put fresh strings on it, which makes it even more fucking shrill. And so, yeah, man.
I'm holding up the foam for my SM7B, Dylan. You'd be proud of me. This is the first foam that has actually started to disintegrate on me.
Mine is still okay. I got mine over there. I don't know. It might be in the shot. Yeah, it's still doing okay. It's hanging in there. I have a cat now, so that is decreasing.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Holy crap!
Although again, mine lives up there. Like mine is. There's no way to get up. You'd have to get on the speaker, and she doesn't.
I get hair on my freaking mics, and they're always suspended. I don't know how it happens.
You got central HVAC though, so you got air movement. Yeah, so there's probably fluff flying out of vents and stuff.
I'm in Florida Beaches for Life wants to know, when is Super Cardioid Man going to make his triumphant return? And this is right? This is something that I've actually struggled with for the past couple of years.
Dude, I want to do like a medium form piece of content with that. Like, there's some funny ideas that I have of some fucking shit that we could do.
Super Cardioid Man goes to the movies. It's one of those things that I know, like, like I love the concept. The reason I came up with the concept is I find mic reviews to be fucking boring.
Dry as shit.
They're dry as shit. And
well, they're there of utility, aren't they? Like that's it. They're a conveyor belt thing.
Yeah, and people only come for that. And that's the crux of the issue is people come for a review and they leave. That's why if I could start a YouTube channel right now, it would not be a review channel because people come for a review of a product and 99% of them leave again. My bounce rate's high. And it's because most people don't give a shit about other microphones or other stuff. That's why, like, people that bitch at me for doing history videos, guess what? That's my only shot at entertaining you, for fuck's sakes.
No, well, the problem is you had this cyclical thing for a long time and you attracted a certain group with that. And now, like, you got to attract a different group. Obviously, the group that's here, we're excluding anybody that's here right now.
Absolutely.
We're outside of this, obviously.
Yeah.
And but you've got to attract more of this crowd.
Yes. And honestly, like with Super Cardioid Man, he was bringing him in was a chance to try to put some levity into a really bland mic review. And I mean, he did his job. He did it great. And I've had like wondering, like, should I be every time I say Super Cardioid, should he run across the screen? I don't want it to get old, but at the same time, I want to give it the credit that it requires. And I think what Dylan said about doing something a little bit medium format, I thought about having Super Cardioid Man do like a product read and then have like the translation as he's saying super duper 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 duper. Underneath, you'd have like what the translation of what he's saying underneath.
Dude, we no. I just we are working on a product well soon. No, I was gonna say right now. It was right now, and then it got pushed back to soon. But that is going to be perfect for Super Cardioid Man because this is an educational kind of a thing. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And I thought, like, I want to integrate Super Cardioid Man in ways that is just not someone running back and forth on the screen. But
yeah, you want to give the character some flavor, you know?
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how I've been actively thinking about this. Every time I say Super Cardioid, I think about the dude. And like the joke is he's been shoved in a closet for a little while. you know,
Did you
chained up.
take drama class in high school, Aiden?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, did you? Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I did. I would not have anticipated that. Did,
Don't. So one of my favorite moments of all time. Sorry to cut you off.
no,
Is
please.
we had in broadcast school there was a class you had to take on video editing, and one of the things you had to do in this video editing is you had to tell a story, and you had to make a video up. And I literally did a thing about a bro. And this bro was basically stalking a woman and he saw nothing wrong with it. And I went through all of the like, man, she doesn't appreciate a good man and all this. And the teacher came up to me. He's like, dude, do you act? I said, well, not officially. And he's like, you need to. He's like, that was fantastic. You need to get into acting. And it was one of my shining moments because I hadn't broken that out in years. And it was kind of like, yeah, maybe I should be an actor, you know?
Man, my role is funny. The one thing about my role, like right now, I'm prepping to do some demos to some major retailers for a product, and this week I had to script out a demo, and I'm like thinking about the performance of it, right? Like, oh, you know, the pizzazz, and I'm like, oh man, I miss this. Like, there's my current role. There's a lot of engineering of it, but there's a certain performance aspect that is, you know, deeply anxious, but also but also
deeply
in a weird
anxiety
way,
riddled.
yeah, but it's one of those things, like there's anxiety leading up, and you know what I'm talking about. Like there can be anxiety leading up, and then once you're started, you're like, man, yeah, we're going, this is it, we're rolling, this is good. And then there's like a rush. There's a rush. It's the anxiety is only leading up, and then once you start the performance and you start going, it's like, yeah, man, we're cooking. This is fucking sick. And I love like radio, right? It's like that's feeling as a jock when you see the countdown going into the break and you have it in manual and you're getting ready to hit that button and it's like, well, okay, here we go. I love that.
It's funny because my kid, who's a synchronized swimmer and actually at a relatively high level for their age, is dealing with the anxiety of performance right now and has started throwing up. And
yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing.
It's something that they think I don't understand, right? They think they're like, oh, you can't understand what I'm going through. I'm like, I played junior A hockey. I've played on stage. I've played in front of, I think my best was like 10,000 people. Like I haven't done a shitty, like I've played shitty concerts, but I've also played some pretty decent sized places. I know what it's like to be fucking anxious as all hell. I just don't exhibit it by throwing up. I do know some people that do, though.
I was gonna say, for me, it's very, very, very rare. I remember, like, this is such a vulnerable thing to share, but getting this job, the interview, there wasn't really an interview, but I knew that it was going to function as an interview, and so that kind of fucked me up a little bit. And it was late in the day. I was tired. I had a few drinks, and I remember I was in the bathroom mirror, and I was like, just psyched, right? Just like, all right, you fucking do this. You're gonna kill it. And then I remember I just looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, and I just like made that face, just like, and I was like, I have output, and then just. That is what I said. That is what I said out loud. I said, I have output. And just and that was again, that's like very, very rare. I experience anxiety enough that I'm pretty good at tuning it out. but every once in a while it crosses a threshold and I'm just like, I am falling apart.
For me, it's always been when you know the high of performance. And I know the high of performance. I know what it feels like. As the guitarist in the band, as a vocalist in the band, I took women home. Like that was part of my experience. I know what that high is. I know what it feels like to have people cheering for you.
It is a fucking seductive demon.
It is. Like I've had people sing along with my music in the crowd. They know
like
the
when
music.
People point out, be like, yeah, Axl Rose is a fucking douche. I'm like, do you realize how fucking brainwashing that lifestyle is?
Oh yeah. It's incredible. And for me, that's always been what has overtaken that anxiety, because everyone has it. You're about to get on stage, you're about to do something, you feel that knot in your gut and you can't think straight. But as soon as that curtain goes up, holy crap, I don't know how we got on this. By the way, I like it. UK says I have YouTube Premium, so 0.00001 cent is probably me. Actually,
Yeah,
YouTube
well,
Premium
me,
pays
you and
more.
me both. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I am also YouTube Premium and I'm watching the stream right now.
YouTube Premium actually pays more. Just so you know, it's
I
actually
wonder if the I
quite
wonder
a
if the
bit.
YouTube AI algorithm is smart enough to tune out my view because I'm physically here on the fucking
I
stream.
don't think so. They
Probably
probably
not.
would shut me down if they knew. So if you were to start a YouTube channel today without past channels, what kind of content channel would it be? Storytelling by a mile. Um,
Well,
I'm
you started Dark Corner Stews too, the second one, and that
Dark Corner Media, and it took
Dark
off
Corner Media.
almost immediately.
Yeah.
I've considered doing something because I've been noticing there's a lot less highly produced stuff. Like you watch, there's a guy named Simon Whistler, and he does a
Today I found
lot
out.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, today I found out he does a bunch infographics. He does a bunch of channels where he basically sits and tells stories, and he pays somebody to write the stories, and he just records them. And I have, like, I'm a good writer. I know I am. I can tell stories very well. I'm a very good presenter. And I've considered just putting out stories, having them. I have a writer in mind, somebody that I work with Minds of Madness. His name's Ryan, and he's a very good writer. He's incredible at what he does. And I thought about doing like cold reads of his stories and then splitting the YouTube channel with him. That's actually been kind of should we do this kind of moment. So I haven't approached him, but there is a chance something like that happens and it's not going to have a lot of production behind it other than me reading it, which would be something I would be able to do. So I'm possibly going to release a couple myself. And I just got to figure out what the stories are. I'm staying away from true crime. I love true crime to read. Fuck, is it ever soul sucking to be a part of? As far as I'm
Which is
concerned.
funny because that's been like your bread and butter in your podcasting career in recent months.
It's no, I still love it. I still love being an active listener of true crime. I fucking love true crime.
Yeah, it's very suspenseful. There's a lot of emotional kind of turbulence in true crime that's kind of fun.
But when you are the person editing and you're listening to this stuff on repeat, like a lot of the cases, I forget the moment I'm done them because you kind of have to. So yeah, like there's some stuff that I wouldn't have necessarily listened to because of the graphic nature of some of it. So yeah, like I'm gonna stay away from true crime. I love good stories. I love stories that make you go, "Holy shit, really?" That kind of stuff is just like I did the history of Christmas, which the surprisingly dark history of Christmas. I fucking love that shit. That's the stuff that really gets me going. So probably stay tuned for it because I don't know if I'm revamping Dark Corner Media. I might just try a cold read style channel and go with that. So we'll see. We got to catch up because we're getting near the end here. In the Pews says we have a similar issue with our audience. They come to watch one guest, but it doesn't seem like they come back for other interviews. So in the Pews, this is actually something that I teach in podcasting is, finding those common denominators of what you're doing right. Usually if you don't have retention, that means that people have come and they don't feel the need to come back. So you need to kind of be able to evaluate your content in a way that makes you go, what is the problem?
I was gonna say there's a term we have in product called attachment rate. And it's basically when you have one product and it just naturally incentivizes. So for example, I don't know if you're selling a smartphone and you sell that smartphone with a special charger that is branded with that smartphone, there's going to be hopefully a good attachment rate, which is the number of phone customers that buy the charger. And so I think the words work here, like the idea of like, how do you attach people to your channel, right? You've attached them to the video. You need to attach them to the channel now. How do you grab them? How do you grab them? Like there's a great example. Like for me, there's a guy, I don't know if you've heard of Stephen Bartlett. He's a podcaster. he was a one guy that I saw his video and I saw his interview style, and I saw a really good interview with him and Jimmy Carr. Very, very smart dude, hilarious dude, and a very smart dude. And I love the questions were so kind of thought provoking that, and immediately I was like, I want to see you interview more people. So how do you elicit that from your audience? Like the thing that says, I want to see you talk to somebody else. Right?
Yep.
How do you get that? And for a talk show host, that's kind of hard because it changes all the time, right? Like David Letterman's tactics would not work now. And so there's a lot of perishability to good talk show. One talk show host that I freaking loved, man, and I'm sad that he got out of this game, was Craig Ferguson. Yeah. Craig Ferguson, he would catch his guests off guard in the most nonchalant of ways, and it made for some freaking great content at times. Like that was a guy that's like, I want to see you interview everybody. And so it's like, how do you get that? How do you create a brand talking to other people? Right? Because it's one thing talking as yourself, right? I can share my opinions all day long and make a brand out of that. But how do I remove myself from it, but also still make people like want to see me? But because basically what you're subscribing to is what I'm pulling out of that other person. Right? I've pulled something out of Jimmy Carr. So I want to see what you pull out of Faith Hill or out of, whoever. And so, I think that's hard.
You hit the nail on the head though. And in the pews, this is what I'll tell you is most often the problem is the person that's on, that is the host. Usually it's the host is the problem. And it's not like, oh my God, you suck, get off. It's more along the lines of you need to start to understand that you're not the appeal.
And take yourself out of it.
Take yourself out of it. And like, I can't say like I haven't listened to any of your stuff. I can't tell you. Usually what you can do is you can find consultants for this stuff, and the consultants will be able to walk you through where your issues are happening. And I did, like, they failed fucking miserably. Sorry for I'm talking to somebody named In the Pews, and I'm going nuts here. What I will say is, like, I did a couple air checks on podcasts, and usually the first thing that came up was get to the content. People came here for the content. You're wasting their time. You're wasting their time. You're wasting their time. And so I would say, go watch some of those videos. I did them a couple months back, and you're going to see those commonalities really pop up in those videos. Is get to the content. So what I will say is try looking into what's going on with that and see if you can identify it yourself. If you can't, pay somebody to come in and listen to your stuff and actually give you feedback. I will tell you, it's not usually the cheapest thing you can have, but a good consultant can take you to a monetized status pretty quick.
So I would do it.
I'm going to race through because we got a lot of comments here. I'm wrestling with getting the 416, but there's a lot of hype around the Cinco Mic D2 XLR. Should I buy once, cry once, or Cinco really good? Oh, wow. I just talk about this in the video coming up.
See, this is it. There's two groups of people, right? And this goes to the preamp conversation. This goes to everything else. Is like when you're buying a new mic is not going to make your product infinitely better. No. If you're a gearhead like I am, like Aiden is, buy this stuff because it makes you happy. But if there's anybody that's watching this and thinking when we have these discussions like, oh my God, I have to buy that because somebody else is buying that. No. It's not going to make or break your product.
What I will tell you about the Cinco Mic D2, and I actually mentioned this in an upcoming video, is quality control can be an issue. And that's usually when you get into the cheap, you will run into that issue is quality control. It sounds decent though. When it's actually working, it's actually a pretty decent shotgun microphone. I don't even remember what happened to mine. But yeah, I can't say don't. The Sennheiser MKH416 is still one of my favorite microphones of all time. However, I will say this. This is my new recruit. It's the NTG5. This thing has a little bit more body to it than the MKH416, and it's not quite as crispy in the top end. And what that means is if you're a sibilant person, this isn't going to sizzle as much in the top end. And if you learn how to EQ, you can EQ this to get a little bit of that mud out. I like this NTG5, which I think is around $400-500. I would recommend this before buying anything from Synco Mic D2 or this from Synco or whatever they're called.
Honestly, like value proposition wise, and again, I work for Friedman Group, so I can't say that this isn't fully biased, because I'm sure there is some kind of subconscious bias there. But as far as like I listening to your video, Aiden, it's funny. I watched the video obviously a few times, and I found that the NTG5 made the 416 sound shrill. I actually didn't like the sound of the 416 with the NTG5, and that's just my sonic opinion. I watched your video because I was actually excited to see these three up against each other. I never heard them against each other before. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna think going into this, and I'm ready to think that the NTG5 is gonna sound like ass, right?
Yeah.
If that's where we're land, and it didn't. It sounded like a perfect in between. I loved it.
A lot of people really like the 416 for the high end, and I was one of them. And they're easy to not EQ. You can literally, I put a de-esser on mine and put it straight on. The NTG3, I actually love this microphone. When you compare it, it sounds like mud. But it's a great, if on its own, you put this on its own, nobody's going to bitch and complain about this microphone. It sounds fantastic. When you compare it, however, it sounds muddy. You can EQ this out and get a great sound from the NTG3. For the NTG5, if you're not EQing, you're going to kind of get the best of both worlds. You're still going to get that low end, that response that you'll end up learning how to EQ out some of that mud, but you still get a lot of that. You still get a nice little shelf in the high end where you're not quite as, it lets you kind of pop out of the mix a little bit more. And you're right, it does make the 416 sound shrill, especially I'm very S-y because I have a bridge. I've got and this thing, and it's not even on my S's. It's every once in a while I'll get this horrible fucking whistle, and people are like, holy shit. Even my wife commented on it once. So yeah, just NTG5 is my recommendation now. Use the link. There's road links all over the place. Use that if you're going to buy it. Thank you. Andrew, YouTube ads generate more ad per certain topics, make more for finance. Hanking? I don't want to know what hanking is. I'm pretty sure you mean banking. Insurance ads. So Dark Corner Finance channel. Actually, you know what? So I have a few concepts for channels. Okay. And I'm going to actually spill a little bit of the beans. First one was, hey, it's me, Dad. Basically, this comes from the perspective of, I know a lot of teenagers that either didn't have the presence in their life that kind of gave them some of those lessons that are supposed to come from your dad. Everything from cooking. I have a son who grew up with his mom, didn't grow up in our household, and he doesn't know how to use a stove. And like, he's 25 now and doesn't know how to use a stove. And to me, it's like, holy shit, you need to know how to use a stove, but he's too stubborn now to learn. And so my plan was to put out like videos about how to do this stuff. And part of that is finance. Like, there's a lot of learning around finance that I can teach you. I'm not going to teach you how to run day trading, but I'm going to teach you how to not be broke.
Do that, I'd be up for going in 50-50 with that, because I've been thinking about actually a similar format. Because I think our society could really flourish with more widespread financial education. And I'm really like, I have a personal commitment to that. Okay. So if you're doing something like that, count me in.
Maybe Dark Corner Finance actually happens there, Andrew. You never know. He also says, or Dark Corner Crime, Deadly EQ, music to die for. A man with a record for...
No, dude, we do like a parody channel of like all the things you shouldn't do. But like we talk about them like, no, that's a really dangerous. I don't know. People find that and they don't know it's a parody and they start actually doing this stuff.
I will say the original Dark Corner was Dark Corner of Radio, where I talked about, and this has actually been done to great success. I had a podcast back in 2016 that was Dark Corner of Radio, and it did actually quite well, which is why I named my studio Dark Corner Studios. And the Dark Corner of Radio was basically the underbelly of the media industry, where, you know, some of the darker shit that's happened. And I covered stuff like Diabolus and Musica, which is the Devil's Tritone, and the whether or not it was outlawed by the Catholic Church and all that stuff. And it was a lot of fun, and it was really good, and it was storytelling. It took a lot of production, which is why I stopped doing it. But it's funny because it was really catching on in 2016, and I ended up getting a job as a morning show host, and my wife was like, I really need you to make money. I can't have you like chasing a dream. And I wasn't a content creator yet. And she's like, I need you to like, you're going to do this morning show and you're going to make money for the family. And I'm like, fine. Around the same time, other podcasts started. One of them is Minds of Madness. And, similar style of storytelling. And yeah, he makes a lot more money than a morning show host does. And my wife, every time she looked at me, she goes, wow, that could have been you, eh? I'm like, shut up. Shut up. Don't want to talk to you anymore.
It is hard because, like, I don't know. I've consulted for projects before, and I'm like, man, I could just so easily just take what you're doing and just do it better and make a bunch more money. But I'm not going to do that because it's not mine, and that's not ethical. But it's just there is that bone that there's that voice, right? Everybody's got the yin and the yang in the back of their head, and I'm very good at controlling them. But it's like there's always that voice that's like, fuck, why are you telling them how to do it? You could just do it.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't believe in it. But
so let's get as much as we can from this. I don't think we're going to be able to get much. We're an hour 10 already.
My wife's fault. This is like record number of rants for me. This is what alcohol does.
The D2 gets overwhelmed by plosives. The recording can be ruined quickly. In blind mic tests I've done, the D2 has never been the preferred or close to the preferred sound. This is one of the problems I had. Actually, I'm going to finish with this next one. But first, Liberty Dude. I don't know if he's still doing it. Booth Junkie started doing some microphone shootouts back in the day. Like, I'd say these are 2018, 2019, maybe like 2020, where he was like, the Cinco Mic D2 is like, it's a perfect replacement for the 416. And it's like, don't say that.
Perfect is subjective also.
Yeah, but also he had so much clout in saying stuff like that it kind of hurt my soul to see.
I hate that word. Fuck, I hate clout.
Anyways, you're right, the D2. However, the counter to that, Liberty Dude, and this is something that has to be considered, is if you only have $250 and you want something off camera, the Cinco Mic D2 is hard to argue at $250. However, to that, however, I would go with a pencil mic well before I'd go with a D2, because a pencil mic just above your head out of frame. I actually have a video coming out where I actually test this out. Pencil mic out of frame sounds just as good, probably better than the D2. So
do you want some different pencils to like AB or?
No, I use the Austrian Audio CC8, which is like $1,000 pencil mic, which worked just fine. But like, do you want
a KM 184?
Yes, I would actually like that. Actually, I should do a review on that. Holy shit, why haven't I done that? But you know what I found out today, which kind of pissed me off? The P170 has been discontinued.
Oh man, that's great. They're in real rough shape, but I've got two P170s. I got the blue ones. I gotta buy the black ones before there's not around anymore.
Hit Amazon. They're already up in price. I've got two of the black ones. So
what when you say what are they at now? They were like $99 when I bought mine.
Yeah, they're like at 150. So
fuck, eat shit. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Fucking AKG.
So on that note, this is the last one. PBJ7669. I don't think I've seen you on the channel. Welcome to the channel. This is going to be the last one, guys, so I apologize. But do you think there's any point in trying to buy a used SM7B online, even with the serial number? Counterfeiters are getting good with the cable length grommets, brass back plates, and green and yellow wire. Yes. What I will say is if you're going to be buying an SM7B online, I would go for Marketplace, and I would ask to see the content that they've made with the SM7B. I would avoid used outside of those. Do not buy off of eBay. Do not buy off of Amazon. Where's the other? So reverb, I think, has a little bit better of a background check on the stuff, but I would avoid used SM7Bs or used SM58s even, unless you can see, like, you can tell when the musicians are selling their stuff because usually the mics are beat, the shit is beat out of them. If the person still has the original box, the original stickers and all that, run, like literally run. Anything that comes with the original box, original stickers, original bag, nobody fucking keeps that stuff. Nobody. I don't have the original box off this.
I think I still have my SM7B box.
Outside of Dylan, nobody else keeps it. I have the SM7DB box, but that's because I don't use it. And I keep the microphone because I love it.
I should say that the box that I have is in an attic somewhere. And the only reason it's there is because up until now, I forgot that it was up there.
That's the thing. All right, guys. I love y'all. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate the... yeah. And SE Electronics S7 or S8 pencil mics over Synco D2. I will try that, Liberty Dude. That's actually a good idea. I'll reach out to SE and see what he says. He might hate me right now. But anyways, I love you guys. Have yourself a great week, and we'll see you next week. Oh, wait. No, I won't be here next week, but we'll be here the week after. So
gotcha.
I'm going out to a wedding. That's what it is. Okay. Bye, guys.